Don't forget to take a picture.
Well, it's not related.
So take the clothes over. And you're set up.
I mean, it feels great.
My Hawaii is just
Oh, right. Well,
For his good weather.
3 weeks ago, she was about to take a trip to Europe. Last weekend of September. So the last week of September, I called her and said,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Don't Tell Mama. As a courtesy to our performers, we ask that there be no picture taking, no texting. Please turn off all your cell phones and keep the aisles clear for the performers and the wait staff. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. And now 23&Me&You and about a million other relatives I didn't know I had.
My husband Gene and I were driving from Little Rock to Benton, Arkansas to visit my late mom's sister, Aunt Dorothy. This was in 2015, right after my dad went into assisted living. Aunt Dorothy was 87, a lifelong chain smoker, and wore a wig that she thought no one knew about. I found out about the wig when I was a kid visiting her. I was sitting directly behind her in the back seat of her Cadillac when she was driving on the interstate. Mom was in the passenger seat. They were both smoking pell-mell, non-stop, with the windows up and no air conditioning on. Oh, the smoke was so dense it was an asthmatic's nightmare. Well, I opened my window to get some air just when a semi-truck drove by. Well, the pressure from the truck sucked my aunt's wig off her head and out the window. She screamed, "My hair! My hair!" and slammed down the brakes. In the rearview mirror, I saw panic in her eyes. My mom turned around and whispered really loudly, "Go catch your aunt's hair!" I jumped out onto the interstate. I don't know if you know this, but wigs travel rapidly. When trucks are zooming by, it had like a half a mile on me. So I'm running to catch this wig, which I did. And I hiked back to the car. My aunt puts her wig back on. They both light a cigarette. My mom opens the glove box and pulls out a bottle of Southern Comfort. In between puffs, they're taking sips. Then they both turn around and say to me in unison, "Shut the damn window, Danny." So, now we're back to 2015. Jean and I arrive at my aunt's house, and she is indeed wearing the wig. She's smoking. She says, "You know, Dan, your dad's not your real dad."
oh no.
I seem to recall your mama was involved with a paint store owner whose last name was French. I think it was him. Well, my reaction was guarded from the fact that my aunt always hated my dad because of the way he treated my mom, but she swore to it. With that kind of news, I needed more than white than the pill. So, Gene and I decided to go visit my dad, Larry, and get his DNA. And, well, Gene was a nurse, so he knew how to do this secretly and then we'd get it tested. I didn't want to know anything until after my dad had died. Well, 2 weeks later, we got a DNA letter in the mail. We put it in our safe unopened. Dad lived 4 more years. I forgot about the letter. Well, Dad died in 2019 at the age of 97. A few months after the funeral, I remembered the letter. Gene was at work, and I decided to open it. Well, I poured myself a 6-ounce glass of wine, not a 9-ounce, it was only noon. And I opened the letter. It stated that there was 0 possibility that Dad was my dad. Well, no, I mean, we had just buried my dad. I mean, I think I felt like my aunt probably did when her wig blew out the window. I felt my life blowing down the highway. I mean, the staff at the facility said we had the same noses. The relatives all said we looked like Gene, said we even laughed like everyone, and everything made me believe that he was my dad. And I took some breaths, and I said, it's no big deal. He raised me, he's my dad, I'm who I am. And I said it again, it's no big deal. And then I realized I didn't know who half of me was. And there was no one left on this planet who I could ask about it. It was a tremendously big deal. And then I downed the bottle of wine. Oh, Daniel, let it go. What a joke, that much I know. Seems so strange, now it's suddenly so complex. And I have no clue what comes next. Maybe just some more time, just a little more fight. Like they say, no guts, no glory. All in all I did fine, or maybe I'm like 100 miles off course. Well, maybe it was too much, maybe not enough. Maybe I should just turn back now, 'cause how do I go on when everything's so wrong? Where am I now? How am I here? Which way do I turn when it's all so unclear? I'm standing alone with nothing but fear. Where am I now? Now that I'm here. All I wanted was to win, just to feel how it might feel, just to say for once I did it, just to open my eyes and see something different than before. So maybe it was too much, maybe too big a dream. Maybe I should just turn back now, 'cause how do I go on when everything's so wrong, wrong? Where am I now? How am I here? Which way do I turn when it's all so unclear? Please give me a sign, will an answer appear? Where am I now? I want more. Where am I now? Where am I now? I'm standing alone with nothing but fear. Please give me a sign, the answer up here. Where am I now? Where am I now? Where am I now? After I finished the bottle of wine, I went to the basement and opened every box from my family to see if there were any clues. Nothing. I started telling my friends about the situation, and I started getting emails of photographs of who my friends thought my real father could be. I received okay, Fred. I started getting crazy. Thousands of names were running through my head. I had to remain calm in order to begin the search for my DNA father. And then I thought, well, it's not important who it is. It's important how I act when I first meet him. I mean, it's his first impression of me. Do I smile and act coy? Do I gloat? Well, do I bump shoulders, hug, handshake? I've noticed that a select few have got a certain knack, a trick that speeds the way to all success. No matter what my other gifts, it's a secret that I lack. And until I get it right, my life will be a mess. The problem I face every day is, what do I do with my arms? They just hang there, getting in the way, and the whole game's getting old. If you gesture too much, you look friggin' crazy. Fold them, you're distant and cold. Put them in your pocket, now you look lazy, like a person who'll never be bold. The neck's a cinch, look left or right, but what do you do with your arms? I puff my chest, suck my stomach tight, and even my doctor calls my upper arm humorous. The legs are straightforward, I think we all get them. They can stand, they can sit, they can skip if you let them. You can cross them, recross them, if the mood is right, spread them. But what do you do with your arms? I never seem to figure it out, despite the years I've tried to rehearse. But if I ever got it right, I'd be king of the universe. Now I'm up here at center stage. This is awkward. And what do I do with my arms? I want to reach out and fully engage, but it's hard to reach out with your arms. I don't want to be stiff, I don't want to be static. I want to expand, make my gestures dramatic, but somehow it all ends up vaguely aquatic. What am I doing wrong with my arms? I've taken up knitting and long distance swimming. I've taken up smoking, I've taken up booze, gone bobbing for apples, tried getting arrested, surrounded myself with Italian lots of boys happy. Taking up billiards, bar fights and yoga. And last Halloween, even dressed up as Jesus. And step dance for hours on end till the lady downstairs, who is near 94, hollered up through the ceiling, for fuck's sake, just stop! I thought she was deaf. For one blissful month that is near unsurpassed, I fell down some stairs, ended up in a cast. It was such sweet relief, but it healed up so fast. Why do the best things in life never last? I know that I could rule the lands. I knew what to do with my arms. I'm sure I'll figure out the hands. But what do you do with not one but two, with elbows and shoulders and wrists attached, that bend in funny places are awkwardly matched? I try and I try, but it's always unsightly. No matter what, it all comes out wrong. I guess I'll give up and just wrap them tightly around Dad all day long. A couple years prior to this paternity event, I asked Jean to buy me a 23&Me DNA kit for my birthday. I spit in a cup for about half the day, sealed it, and 2 weeks later I got an 80-page report via email that told me all these things about myself. I found out that I don't have hair on my back, and that I'm not pigeon-toed, and that I'm good looking. Ungodly good looking. I've been told all my life I had American Indian in me. Like Elizabeth Warren, I had none. But I am 1% Ashkenazi Jew. I guess that's why I love bagels so much. I also have a high percentage of Northern Norwegian from people called Laplanders. Now, Laplanders are kind of like Alaskan Eskimos, only Laplanders make better furniture. Now, Gina, I immediately Googled Laplanders, and I do look like them. 23&Me had way too much information for me to comprehend. It also had a tab on there that you could open if you wanted to find others who shared your DNA. My immediate reaction was not to open that tab. I didn't want to know more relatives. I don't necessarily like the ones I have. Well, several weeks go by, I'm having no luck finding where I'm from or who my dad is. And then it dawned on me to open that tab on 23&Me. So I did. Within minutes, I had 1,000 new relatives. I opened a bottle of wine, 9-ounce pour. Well, 23&Me lists your relatives in order of closeness, so I composed a select email and sent it off for the first 25, one at a time. I got responses such as, "My grandma remembers you dancing in the front yard of your great Uncle Clyde's house." That could be. Also, I got, "You were the kid who swallowed all those marbles and I took you to the hospital." I don't remember that. And, "Were you the kid born with 12 fingers?" No. Well, it had way too much information, but none of these helped me getting closer to my dad. And then, a very nice gentleman by the name of Bruce, who was high up on the DNA list, said he'd help me. Well, Bruce asked me for photos of me at various ages, and then he said he thought he knew where I belonged in the family, but first he wanted to reach out to the potential relatives to see if they would be willing to speak to me. He said they were, oh, it was Rick and JD. He said they were high-profile people in Little Rock. That made me laugh, because it's Little Rock. But they did own a jet plane and inherited their father's very successful business. Well, Cousin Bruce got back to me and said he indeed thought they were my brothers, but they would not speak to me. Well, Arkansan people just don't know how pushy I can be. So I called Rick at his job, left a polite voicemail, and said, you know, we should speak about possibly being related. I waited a week, no response, so I called back and left a little more insistent message like, you don't know me, but I don't give up. I will call every reporter in and around Little Rock to tell them my story. Have a nice day. 2 hours later, they gave me a conference call from Rick and JD. So, I tell them my story, say I don't want anything from them. I just want to find out who my father is. And I'd even be willing to pay for 23&Me. They laughed. They said, all men screwed around back then. They said men and their families had Velcro flies instead of zippers. They said they didn't want to know about any kids or other relatives they might have. Then they said something rude about my mom. Laughed again, said, have a nice day, and hung up. I was fuming. I was thinking all these terrible things I could do to get back at Rick and JD. But I said, no, I am better than that. So I went out for a walk and found myself standing in front of a church. I haven't been to church since I don't remember when. Things were going great till they fell apart again. So I listened to the preacher as he told me what to do. He said you can't go hating others who have done wrong to you. Sometimes we get angry, but we must not condemn. Let the good Lord do His job. You just pray for them. I pray your brakes go out, run down a hill. I pray a flower pot falls from a windowsill and knocks you in the head like I'd like to. I pray your birthday comes and nobody calls. I pray you're flying high when your engine stalls. I pray all your dreams never come true. Just know wherever you are, brothers, I pray for you. I'm really glad I found my way to church, 'cause I'm already feeling better, and I thank God for the words. Now I'm gonna take the high road and do what the preacher told me to do. You keep messing up, and I'll keep praying for you. I pray your tire blows out at 110. I pray you pass out drunk with your best friend and wake up with his and his tattoos. I pray your birthday comes and nobody calls. I pray you're flying high when your engine stalls. I pray all your dreams never come true. Just know wherever you are, near or far, in your house or in your car, wherever you are, brothers, I pray for you. I pray for you. So, I want to do a little review. This is my dad who died. Now, he's not really my dad, but will always be referred to as my dad because he raised me. Bruce, newly found cousin, high up on the 23&Me, who is helping me find my DNA father. Rick and JD, potential half-brothers, but full jerks. Now, my dad, Larry, was a successful businessman and a rabid playboy. He and my mom had a terrible marriage, but stayed together until her death in 2001. Now, I lived through hundreds and hundreds of their fights growing up. I'd hide in the closet. That would never happen now. But I'd hide in the closet with a flashlight reading a book. Dad had many affairs. Mom, a breakdown. The years were filled with numerous ugly and sad times. In 2011, Dad and his awful new wife, Doris, came to visit Jean and me in Jersey. On the morning they were leaving, Dad and I got up early to have a nice long chat. And he said, well, looks like a good day to start heading back. I said, yeah, Dad. And he goes, by the way, you have a sister. Her name is Beth. She's 50 years old. I got my secretary pregnant. Doris, we need to hit the road. And they were gone. But in future conversations on the phone, Dad refused to talk about this new sister. The only information I could get was Beth did not want to meet me, so therefore we shouldn't meet. Well, I took over Dad's power of attorney when he went into assisted living, and I was privy to all of his personal contact information, which included this new sister. Jean and I were going to throw a birthday party for Dad at the facility and decided to invite Beth. Beth is a lesbian. Beth is the one with glasses. And she, when we met, she said she didn't know that her fake dad wasn't her real dad until after he died, and then she met my dad, which is her real dad, in the late 1990s. She said that her fake dad never treated her as well as he treated his siblings. Well, I didn't even know about Beth until 2011. Now, just to recap, I'm gay, she's gay. Both of us did not know about our questionable paternity until after our dads died, and both of us were not treated well by our fathers growing up. Even though Beth isn't a DNA sister, she seems like one because of our mutual respect for each other and our love for each other. Back to the Arkansas connection. Cousin Bruce called me and said he had forgotten to tell me that the two potential brothers, the jerks, had two younger siblings that he didn't know well, but he gave me their names. So I found them on Facebook and I reached out to Melody. Now, Melody asked if she could see some photos of me. I did, and she asked if she could call. Hello, it's Daniel. Oh my God, you're a Yankee. And then she laughed. I told her my story, and we spent a lot of time on the phone, and she said she'd be willing to do 23&Me. And, but she said, you know, I'll welcome you to the family, but I have 3 brothers. I always wanted a sister. I said, well, it's close. And I told her all about Jean and me. And then I asked her, I said, by chance, are you part Laplander? And she goes, well, I don't know, but I'm a lesbian. Two lesbians in one. I should have taken stock out in flannel. Well, 2 weeks later, the results came back, and she is indeed my half-sister. Her father is my DNA father. He died in 2010, so I never got to meet him. Melody came to visit me in Florida, and she and I look alike. And she told me, growing up a lesbian in a conservative Arkansas family, the toll it took on her. She and I are building a relationship, and I will always, always be grateful and love Melody for her kindness, her compassion, and her understanding in helping me complete this journey. She told me that one of her brothers, one of those full-time jerks, has a son in New York named Weston. Weston is in his 30s, works in radio and television production, and he's a sweetheart. We're getting to know each other, and he's gay too. However, when his father found out he was gay, he put him in an institution and then moved him to a gay conversion facility. I think what his father could use is a marathon of RuPaul Drag Race, followed by a 24-hour Broadway show tune sing-along. Now, Beth, Melody, Weston, and I have all had our own journeys where we've encountered dishonesty, prejudice, cruelty, but a lot of love. For the longest time, I had to live in and around darkness, but that's not a natural place for me. You know, a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows, and the dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you, and never knowing what's in store, makes each day a constant battle, till we stay between the shores. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs wide, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my tide. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. The further away I got from the darkness, I found a strength, a peacefulness, and a lightness that gave me hope. That hope filled my life with possibilities, and my dreams started coming true. Too many times we stand aside and let the waters slip away, till what we put off till tomorrow has now become today. So don't you sit up on the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tide. And there's bound to be rough waters, and I know I'll take some falls, but with the good Lord as my captain, I must make it through them all. Yes, I will sail my vessel till the river runs wide, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my tide. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs wide. Yes, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Till the river runs dry. The most important person in my life is my husband, Gene, who during this journey kept me sane, balanced, supplied in wine, and in love. Vanna, come over and sit next to me. Now you get to talk.
Hi, dear.
Welcome.
Your family is like a Southern Gothic novel.
Yes. And I know your family is almost perfect.
Have you met my family? I have to say, my mom's almost perfect, though. She's kind, generous, and she listens to me.
My mom was nowhere near perfect. She was full of love, but she was a 50s housewife who had little education and few options. I think she stayed with my dad so I could have a better life.
At least she handled you being gay.
Oh, it was rocky.
Yeah, like Boulder Rocky, not Pebble Rocky.
This is where I gently changed the subject. Dear, I forgot, how many gays in your family?
An uncle who I'm named after, a niece, maybe a nephew.
Well, as you heard, I have quite a few. I don't even know how we reproduced.
Well, I love the story of how you came out, though.
Oh, you mean over the phone?
Yeah, because I did that too.
Yeah. I just called up my mom and I said, Mom, was I a needy child? Did I always need attention? Did I like to flirt with girls? Did I like to wear your clothes? I mean, did I ever smile at the thought of playing hockey or the chance to own a muscle car? Well, the reason I ask is to gain some perspective and who knows, maybe write a book. Mom, I'm still your baby, so I can tell you anything, right? I'm a little bit scared, a little bit empty, a little bit lonely every day. I'm stuck in this city, my sleep pattern's shitty. It's kind of hard to explain. I've only found lately, though, that I've had this hard time finding my own way. I'm a little bit lost, a little bit found. I'm a little bit...
Did we always have cats? Did I ever want a dog? Or was I always more the feline type? Look, I'm sorry for this chat, but did I really wear pink socks? Or was that a laundry mishap with the reds and the whites? And why did you let He-Man be my favorite cartoon? Even though in college it changed to Sailor Moon. Was I the only baby to never mess his bib? Was I the only baby to decorate his crib? I'm still your baby, so I can tell you anything, right? I'm a little bit scared, a little bit lonely, a little bit empty every day. I'm stuck in this city, my sleep pattern's shitty. It's kind of hard to explain. I've only found lately, though, that I've had this hard time finding my own way. I'm a little bit lost, a little bit found.
And I'm sorry, Mom, for ditching class to go see Cher, or for that year in college where I highlighted my hair.
I'm sorry, Mom, for being scared to play baseball. I just hope I've been the son you've always wanted after all. Mom, I'm still your baby. So why is this so damn hard? I'm a little bit gay.
A little bit
Just a tiny bit gay.
and I've always been this way, so I don't think it's gonna change.
So I guess myself and I have recently lost touch, but it certainly explains why I liked my G.I. Joe so much.
Don't worry, Mom, I won't be going to hell, and who knows, maybe I'll be a hero like Pete Buttigieg.
Can you call me when you get this message? So these past few years have been crazy for Daniel, which of course means they've been somewhat crazy for me as well. He's handled it without one complaint though. He can be very no-nonsense. He likes to look at a problem, try to solve it. That's what he did with his dad's health decline. He handled it with compassion, organization, and determination. And a little bit of help from some wine, of course. He's one of the strongest people I know. But sometimes there's a brief flicker in his eyes that suggests he needs some support. Like when his mom died, or when Larry told him about having a sister, or this whole family situation. I'm proud he's such a strong man, but I'm also proud he's not afraid to ask for support. When the rain is blowing in your face, and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I can make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my
That was gorgeous.
Pretty good if I do say so.
I've been thinking.
Uh-oh, that's dangerous.
I've been thinking about what you said, and it was very sweet. You think I'm perfect.
I never said that. But here's something to think about. How about another solo for me?
One's enough. So, you think I'm perfect.
I never said that.
Determined, strong, compassionate, organized.
Do I get another solo?
Do you think I'm perfect?
I give up. You're impossible.
I have eyes for you to give you dirty looks. I have words that do not come from children's books. I've a trick with a knife Everything I've got belongs to you. I've a powerful anesthesia in my fist, and the perfect wrist to give your neck a twist. There are hammerlock holds, I've mastered a few, and everything I've got belongs to you. Share for share, share alike. You get struck each time I strike. You for me for you. I'll give you plenty of nothing. I'm not yours for better, but for worse. And I've learned to give the well-known witch's curse. I've terrible tongue, a temper for two, and everything I've got belongs to you. Share for share, share alike. You get struck each time I strike. You for me for you. I'll give you plenty of nothing. I'm not yours for better, but for worse. And I've learned to give the well-known witch's curse. A terrible tongue, a temper for two, and everything I've got belongs. Everything I've got belongs. Everything I've got belongs to you.
So a few minutes ago, you and I talked about coming out to our moms with no mention of our dads. My dad died when I was 22. I hadn't come out yet. I suspect he knew I was gay, but I'm not sure how he would have reacted had he known for sure.
My dad wouldn't come to New York City to visit me because he thought he would get AIDS from my late mate David. During those years, he was a total jerk, very insensitive.
You know, some of my memories have changed over time. I've come to appreciate my dad's dedication to his business and his love for my mom. I'm still not sure he was the best dad growing up, though. He didn't really want to take the time to understand me.
After college graduation, my dad signed me up with a department store chain as a manager trainee. He did all the paperwork, signed me up with a start date, but didn't ask me if that's what I wanted.
I think my dad was tired of kids by the time I came along. I'm the youngest of 5, and also by far the smartest and best looking of them. But the most sensitive, so there was that too. Maybe we weren't the kinds of sons they wanted either. He wanted rough and ready, big, bad, born to fight. Keep your guard up, chap, drop your head. He wanted tough and steady, a son cast in his image. Rotten luck, he got me instead. I'm a different kind of man, no good at fitting in, as almost anyone can see. I'm a different kind of man, a major disappointment. So different than he wanted me to be.
He wanted his tradition safe, solid, close to home. Learn the business, one day become the boss. He wanted in his footsteps a son he could be proud of, but that investment, sadly, took a loss. I'm a different kind of man, no good at taking charge, a withered branch upon the family tree. I'm a different kind of man, the end of an era, so different. not for the best. Maybe different will show us the way.
And right or wrong, would it kill you to be proud of
The man I am today. I'm a different kind of man. That's just the way it is. You don't have to agree. I'm a different kind of man. Why does it matter that I'm different than you wanted me? I'm a different kind of man. I'll make no apology. I'm a different kind of man.
Thanks, Dad, for the input. But I'm different
I'm different
than you wanted me
than you wanted me
to be.
After college graduation, I didn't take the job my dad had set me up to take. I decided to start acting, stay in my college town, and do local theater for a while. My parents were not happy about that. I was living in an apartment with my boyfriend. They didn't know that. We were in the closet. Back then you had to be. He and I were going away for the 4th of July weekend. And in my absence, my parents came to the apartment to confront me about my decision. The super let them in. My parents ransacked the apartment, stole love letters from my boyfriend, and took the keys to the car they had given me for graduation. We got home to an answering machine message from my mom saying that she would run my boyfriend over if she ever saw him, and that she was going to call his parents to let them know that he was a queer. My dad was egging her on in the background saying, "Tell him we have the car and we're keeping it." During this conversation, they were both arguing and blaming each other and whose fault it was that I was a queer. 2 weeks later, I moved to New York City with $370. My boyfriend and I ended our relationship. I didn't speak to my parents for 6 years. They had no idea where I was. Those first few weeks in New York City alone, I decided I needed to create my own family, one that loved me, for me. Over the years, I've built a family that you could never find on 23&Me. My journey has had many bumps, detours, heartbreaks, but joy. I recently heard someone say it's not the destination, it's the journey that's important. You know what, it's both. It's also important to travel light and have a strong home base. I've dropped a lot of the baggage that people unloaded on me. I don't need anyone else's stuff. Hey folks, turn off your iPhone. No, I don't want to stream the evening news. Just come over here, sit down next to me. Let your old friend look at you, and you, and you. Your beautiful faces that I want to keep safe as long as I can. I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be peace in this house. There's gonna be peace in this house. Gonna be some tender talking and some sweet little nothings that add up to some things we can't live without. There's gonna be peace in this house. Some belief in this house. Every good thing that ever happens, happens from the inside out. telling you now, there's gonna be peace in this house. I also built a house for the family I chose and filled it with quiet nights, happy days, and most of all, love. Did I tell you today that I love you? You're the reasons for everything I do. Sometimes I think the only hope for this world is my love and you, and you, and you. So let's all be patient, let's all play nice, 'cause everyone's gonna get a little slice of this pie. There's gonna be peace in this house. There's gonna be peace in this house. Gonna be some tender talking and some sweet little nothings that add up to some things we can't live without. There's gonna be peace in this house. There's gonna be peace in this house. Some belief in this house. Some belief in this house. Every good thing that ever happens from the inside out. I'm telling you now, there's gonna be peace in this house. Every good thing that ever happens from the inside out. I'm telling you now, there's gonna be peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, really good roles.
I have some thank yous I want to do today. First and foremost, Sydney Meyer and Don't Tell Mama for having us back here together. Adam Carlo in the light and sound booth. Thank you, Adam, for all the stuff you've done. Trudy Cullen, our videographer. So if anybody wants a copy of the show, no, just kidding. Our videographer, thank you, Trudy. And I want to thank Karen Warren for our terrific flyer and making me look like Barney Rubble. I also want to thank all of you for being here to listen to my story and for being vaccinated. We love you. So thank you so much for being here. I think I should thank my co-star on stage and in life, my husband, Gene Goslin. I've known our director for 30 years and I never had the honor and privilege of working with her. She's done wonders with the show and I so love her dearly. Lori Bronco's out here somewhere. I can't see her. And last, in Florida, I found a gold mine, a rainbow, a new friend, and a talented musical director, Eric Alsford. The PS to my story. 6 years into living in New York, I received a government bill for $140,000. It was for a student loan that my dad had taken out in my name, but didn't tell me. He, even though we didn't even need a loan, it was the way he always operated. I found the nearest payphone. Remember those?
Yeah.
And called them up and said, very matter of fact, if you don't pay this bill, you'll never hear from me again. It was paid in 7 days. And my parents and I reconciled after 6 years of separation. Over the years, especially after my mom died, my dad and I grew closer. He really loved and respected Gene. Gene was actually everything he wanted in a son. And, but as we grew closer, we found a mutual place of kindness, respect, and love. I will always be indebted to him for making me go to college. And I want to say that a while back I said I built a family that I chose, and loved. And I just want to say, welcome to my family. I've discovered the secret of happiness is learning how to glide. I've discovered the secret of happiness is just enjoy the ride. Don't let the journey be tainted by pride.
I've discovered the secret of happiness is not to mourn the past. I've discovered the secret of happiness is not to run too fast. You can still beat them by coming in last, 'cause
The secret of happiness is
I've discovered the secret of happiness is not to be afraid. I've discovered the secret of happiness is all illusions fade. Don't let the future you'll just be delayed from. The secret of happiness is living in the now.
living in the time it takes to blink, I think, is how we're meant to be living. I've discovered the secret of happiness is following my will. I've discovered the secret of happiness is though we can run that hill, happiness comes when we learn to be still. And the secret of happiness is having all of you here today. Once again, thank you so very much. The secret of happiness is clear.
The secret of happiness is near. The secret of